I see a lot of people say, oh, you need 50 million to travel to the US, UK, and all these countries. You need a lot of money. In fact, you can't even afford it. Well, the truth is that people who travel abroad to study, or most people who travel abroad to study, are actually the middle class. Rich people, they don't really, like, if you are very rich in your country and you don't have any need to travel outside your country, I mean, you can just stay and enjoy your life back in your country. So people who really travel are the middle class. I see people posting, oh, 50 million, 100 million, you need to show this, you need to show. No, that's not the case. I mean, if you are talking about other countries like Australia, Canada, UK, that require you to make a lot of, financial commitments before you can get your visa, then I might listen to you. But if you're talking about the US, the US will not require you to pay any money, like school fees, like a large amount of school fees. I mean, if you pay, they will accept, but you are not required to pay a lot of money before the visa. In fact, the school will advise you to not make any financial commitment. Don't make any specific travel plans before you go for the visa interview. That is before you get your visa. You understand? So you don't really need to pay a lot of money. For instance, if you are going for MBA course, I know schools that will, from the application till you go for interview, you will not spend more than $1,500. So the thing is that you need to do research to understand what you need for these courses. There are a lot of schools in the US, like over thousands of schools in the US you can check. So you need to know what the school requires before you go there. So you don't need so much money. Yes, you will need money while in the US because you are not allowed to work. I mean, as a student, you may be permitted to work 20 hours, but that will not do anything. That's why they ask you to have somebody that is sponsoring you, or someone, your source of finance should be, strong before you start coming to study in the US. So, but when you get the visa, that's where you start spending money. So from the process of applying for admission to getting visa, you don't really need to spend a lot of money. Okay, for instance, let's say you apply to a school. Some schools don't ask you for application fee. So even if they ask you, it will be like maybe $50 or $100. Let's say you pay $100 to apply for a school. Okay, let's say you apply to 3 schools and the application fee is $50 each. That's $150. But some of them, I know a lot of schools that don't ask you for application fee. So I'm just assuming that, okay, the schools you're applying to, they are asking you to pay application fee. Let's say you have paid $150 for 3 schools, and they gave the 3 schools give you admission. So after the admission, you now need to, the next step is for you to ask the school for I-20. I-20 is the document you will use to apply for a visa. You will need that document to apply for a visa. So for them to give you I-20, you need to show proof of fund. That is money in the bank account that you will use for these studies. That is the school fees, the cost of attendance. That is, the cost of attendance includes the school fees. Cost of attendance is the school fees and every other fee you will pay, plus your living expenses for 12 months. That is what the law requires. For 12 months, you need to show proof of fund for 12 months. So when you show the school will send you the I-20. At this point, you have not made any payment. So when the school sends you your I-20, the next step is to pay service fee. Service fee is the fee you pay to the US government for keeping your record as an international student in the United States. So that is $350. So you pay $350. If you are paying through Western Union, they charge $10 for transaction fee. So let's say $360. That is how much now? $450, $500. Let's say you are paid $500. So the next step is to pay the visa fee. It is the same in all the countries. So what changes is maybe the currency you are using in your country. So let's say you pay $185 for, I don't know the exact amount they are going to increase it to. I think they said it's $485, but I will have to verify that, or you can check that. All the information you need to travel, all of them are online. So just do your research and do your stuff. So you pay visa fee of $185 and you attend your visa. So if you are denied the visa, you have paid application fee for schools that we collect application. So I know a lot that will not collect application fee, so you don't need to pay application fee. Let's say you did not pay application fee, so you have paid service fee and visa fee. So these are the two things you are going to pay for. So, but if you are going to UK will say, oh, deposit tuition fee, deposit health insurance fee. If you are going to Canada say, oh, send money to this account that we hold it and make sure that you have money to do this. If you are going to Australia, the same thing. So I think that's why a lot of people, try US first, because you spend less to get the visa. So your major spending starts when you have the visa. So even if you want to go and ask someone for financial help, for instance, and you have the visa already, at least they will know that something is coming out of it. So I think you should give it a shot. Try the US visa. I mean, there are a lot of other good countries, but because of the amount you spend to get in, sometimes even when you have the money, because you are not sure whether they will give you a visa or not, you may not be convinced to start spending that kind of money to go to that country. You can travel without spending a lot of money. If you find my video interesting and you have learned something, kindly share it to anybody you know that has interest in traveling abroad. See you next time.